You know, there's quite a few of these games. Kick down the door, clear out the room style games. Saying that alone probably gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. And these generally don't hold my attention for very long. Usually I assume they're a roguelike without any real story or real purpose aside from a 10-second gameplay loop that's pretty fun at first but gets stale relatively quickly. And now we're suddenly getting games like Mullet Mad Jack and the video game I'm covering today, Angerfoot. Yeah, that name is about as ridiculous as this game. Suddenly we get two really good games in the same month. Now I was sent a review key, but no one paid me anything. This is me wanting to gush about this game. It's really good. Good enough for me to sit down and start playing this game, and before I knew it, 7 hours had passed and I beat the game. I just sat down and marathoned the whole thing without a second thought. This game doesn't take itself too seriously. But even then, it has a coherent story you can follow. A story that consistently made me laugh. And this is not a traditional roguelite where levels are procedurally generated. Every level is handcrafted and clearly playtested. First impressions you might get on this game is, oh my god, that's so loud! Hold on, let me turn this down real quick. Okay, now that I can hear myself, the soundtrack in this game is dynamic and will change on the fly depending on your actions. Dynamic soundtracks are incredibly underrated. I really wish more games did this. The audio in general is just good in this game. Everything sounds meaty and punchy and fits perfectly. As for the PC release itself, it's mostly fine. It has all the options you would want. Aiming feels perfectly fine. Things work as intended, mostly. But occasionally my frame rate would just explode for seemingly no reason. There's also a really annoying glitch where the audio will just get muffled for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and you'll be forced to exit back out to the menu and relaunch that level. Considering how quickly you can go in and out of combat, this is something that might happen somewhat often. And then there's a relatively harmless glitch that I found really funny. This game fully embraces ragdoll. And I love that it fully embraces ragdoll because I really miss old-fashioned ragdoll. However, there is a bow that pins people to walls, which resulted in silly stuff like this. Now, one of these times, this got so out of hand that they took over the entire room, about 20 bodies doing this, and then my game crashed. Admittingly, that's hilarious. But why aren't you seeing it? Well, when the game crashed, it took my recording with it. Oh well, it probably isn't that big of a deal. Maybe I lost a couple of levels. It's 75% of the game. I lost 5 hours of recording. This is not necessarily a problem with the game as much as it is my recording software supposed to be making a backup, something that you can recover, and yes, I was recording. Admittingly, this is not entirely relevant to this game, but oh my lord, is that frustrating when you're making a video. And you have an embargo and you need to have it released by that embargo. So learn from my problem, if this ragdoll starts happening, your game might crash. Pinning too many bodies at once to a wall with a lot of props in a room seems to cause this. But aside from that frustration, the game itself looks really good for what it is. It's not Crisis good looking or anything like that, it is very cartoony, but it fits the absolutely unhinged nature of this game. There are so many absurd things to find in the environment that I just had to stop and read and look at and laugh at. And there's tons of hilariously stupid writing. This can't be overstated. Every once in a while you'll get into a level where you can walk around, and I always wanted to talk to people to see what unhinged nonsense they were going to say. Enemies themselves, just as designed, can be stupidly silly. You'd think a tentacle as an enemy would just slap you. Nope, the tentacle holds a knife or a gun. Every enemy itself is either a furry or some weird looking dude. Not only am I down with more anthro designs in games, and less boring humans, this also makes them really easy to recognize and tell apart. which is incredibly important in a game as fast-paced as this. But okay, why is any of this happening? What is this world? What is the story here? Well, believe it or not, there is a real story. You're in Shit City.
Shit City. Never has there been a worse pit of crime and degeneracy. In this town, everyone is in a gang. There's only one rule in Shit City. Crime is the law. The city is run by the 4 biggest gangs. The Violence Gang, Muggers and Thieves. The Pollution Gang, the filthiest thugs in town. The Business Gang, hustlers and corporate fraudsters. And the Debauchery Gang, the unholiest of hedonists. All these goons answer to the Crime Minister. All but one.
Huh. So this is what Republicans think Portland is actually like. You play as Angerfoot, an angry man that does everything with his feet. Driving, ziplining, eating food, kicking down doors, literally everything. So naturally, he loves shoes. You have a collection of primo sneakers. And of course, this attracts the attention of someone who eventually steals them. This leads you to hunt down who stole your shoes, only to find out they've been scattered amongst the gangs, forcing you to go after each gang one by one. And that's the setup. The core gameplay is very simple. You get a map with a bunch of different levels and a boss at the end. You can replay these levels whenever you want to. Once in a level, you kick down doors and clear out rooms. You can pick up enemy weapons, but you can't reload, so you need to throw the weapons. Kicks kill in one hit, throwing a weapon stuns enemies. What spices things up is the variety. You die fast, but so do the enemies. When you die, you're right back into the action. If you don't like how the level is going, backspace will automatically restart the level. The game can be challenging, but nothing crazy. Dying never felt cheap. I always knew I messed up, and knew I could figure out a way to do better. Bosses themselves are really good. I'll only show the first boss as to not spoil anything. Also, totally not because I lost 5 hours of footage. Fuck! It's pretty normal for each boss to have multiple stages. And the bosses aren't just shoot boss until it dies. For example, you have this helicopter. How do you defeat this helicopter, you may ask? Is there some sort of unique way, like launching something at it? No, you just kick it. Yeah, this one's simple, but it's so stupid that you're just kicking a helicopter that I love this. But phase 2, it starts dropping bombs on you like Half-Life 2. Wait, those aren't bombs, those are literally explosive enemies. These are the regular kamikaze style enemies that run at you throughout the normal levels. Now they're just a bomb dropped out of a helicopter. And then it's just a car, just a 1997 car. Just kick the car a bunch, you beat the boss. This is the simplest boss out of all of them, but this will give you a good idea of how the game is set up and just how absurd it is. I really can't praise this aspect of the game enough. It takes a really talented group of people to make something this stupid. Anyway, before selecting a level, you'll get 3 challenges. Doing a challenge gets you a star. Every 5 stars gets you a new shoe. One of these challenges will always be just to beat the level, so you are guaranteed to get stars. But these shoes drastically change gameplay. You can equip any shoe before any mission. Maybe they'll give you more ammo when you kick someone. Maybe there'll be an uppercut kick launching them into the air, which seems to not really be useful, but it's funny. Maybe you'll activate big head mode. Maybe they'll let you charge up a kick and launch yourself across the room. Maybe you can slide kick. Maybe they'll let you do a sick Mortal Kombat move. Maybe your shoe will let you become Lord of the Flies, and if you kick a fly, it becomes friendly and attacks enemies. Have you ever wanted a fly meatball attack drone before? Maybe they'll make you super tiny because they're only size 3s. Maybe you'll get the Holy Sandals, which grants you an extra life on dying, which are probably the best item in the game. Or maybe, and this is my personal favorite, they'll turn every gun into a shotgun. This game is just absurd. I would absolutely recommend it, right up there with Mullet Mad Jack. It will take you, on average, 7 hours to beat the game on a first-time playthrough. And that doesn't include completing all the challenges and unlocking every shoe. Then there's the speedrunning element that you may want to get into. Every level is timed, and there's usually a challenge that'll say beat the level before a certain amount of time. So, yeah. Even though this game is another one of those games where it's just kicking down doors and shooting people and then moving on, it's special. It's different. It's really fun. If you want to play some stupid bullshit, I would highly recommend this game. I love me some stupid bullshit, and I know you will too. Hey, big thanks to everyone that watched this video. Huge thanks to my YouTube members. If you become a YouTube member, you can see my videos at least 1 week ahead of time. Early viewing and the little bit of extra money really helps me out. Thanks to those people that watch me over on Twitch. Streaming is pretty fun. And of course, a huge thanks to everyone subscribed to this channel and watching this video right now. I'll see you next time.